What if Zambia's next president was a woman? Former Vice President Inonge Wina has broken her silence with a powerful and emotional message to the nation's youths. She is urging them to rise up and fight for Zambia's first female leader. But her call has sparked heated reactions, especially from the Lungu family, still struggling with humiliation, secrets, and political battles after Edgar Lungu's death and funeral controversies. For some, Wina's words are a bold vision for change. For others, they are a warning shot in a bigger power struggle with HH, the ruling elite, and Zambia's political future. Tonight, we uncover what Inonge Wina really said, why the Lungu family is reacting, and how this moment could reshape Zambia's history forever. Welcome to InspirAfrica Official, where we reveal Africa's biggest hidden truths and political realities. In this episode, we explore the shocking new call from former Vice President Inonge Wina. She has urged Zambia's youths to fight for a female president, a message that has shaken the political scene and stirred up fresh tensions. From the Lungu family's troubled reaction to whispers of HH's involvement and fears of a hidden agenda, this is more than just a statement. It's the beginning of a new battle for power. Stay with us as we expose the secrets, the reactions, and the global implications of Inonge Wina's bold message. This is not just politics. This is a battle for Zambia's leadership, power, and destiny. Subscribe to InspirAfrica Official for more breaking news, political exposes, and global reactions to Africa's biggest stories. The call to arms Zambia was left in shock. After months of silence, former Vice President Inonge Wina stepped back into the spotlight with a message that no one expected. She looked straight at the youths of Zambia and urged them to rise, to fight, and to prepare the nation for its first female president. But why now? And what was the hidden meaning behind her powerful words? Stay with us, because the truth may surprise you. For years, Inonge Wina has been a respected figure, often soft-spoken, always cautious. Yet this time, her tone was different. It was bold, fiery, and filled with urgency. Some say it was a call for gender equality, a challenge to the political system that has kept women in the shadows. Others believe it was something far more personal, a move to shift the political balance at a time when the nation is divided. The reaction was instant. Supporters cheered her courage, saying Zambia is ready for change. But critics accused her of stirring unrest, warning that her message could inflame tensions between political camps. And in the background, the Lungu family was listening closely. Her words, whether meant or not, struck directly at their power. So here's the mystery. Was this just an emotional speech? Or was Inonge Wina sending a coded signal, testing the ground for a female leader who might already be waiting in the wings? In our next episode, we dig deeper into the shadow of history, how Zambia's past struggles with leadership explain why Wina's words hit so hard today. Don't miss it. The shadow of history. Zambia has never had a female president. Not once in its history. For decades, the nation's highest office has been dominated by men, from Kenneth Kaunda to Edgar Lungu to Hakainde Hichilema. But why has this tradition remained so unbroken? And why does the thought of a woman stepping into State House feel both revolutionary and threatening? Stay with us, because the answer lies deep in Zambia's political past. From independence in 1964, power structures were built around men. Politics was shaped in parliament, in boardrooms, and in networks where women were rarely allowed to rise. Even when brilliant female leaders emerged, they often found themselves sidelined, their influence cut short by party struggles or cultural barriers. This history has left deep shadows. For many Zambians, the idea of a female president represents progress, equality, and a chance for change. But for others, it feels like a disruption, a challenge to traditions that have long defined power in Zambia. That is why Inonge Wina's bold words shook the nation. They didn't just speak about the future. They touched old wounds, forcing people to confront the history that has always kept women at the margins. But here's the real question. If Zambia has never opened this door before, what would it take to finally break the cycle? And who is brave enough to push through? In the next episode, we reveal the Lungu legacy strikes back, how the powerful Lungu family reacted to Wina's call, and why their response may decide the nation's path. Don't miss it. The Lungu legacy strikes back. The silence didn't last long. Just days after Inonge Wina's fiery call for Zambia's first female president, the Lungu family struck back. Their reaction was swift, sharp, and impossible to ignore. But here's the question. Did Wina's words really challenge their influence, or were they a direct warning aimed at them? Stay with us, because this is where the battle begins. For years, the Lungu family has tried to protect its legacy. Even after Edgar Lungu left office, his name and his shadow still linger in Zambia's politics. So when Inonge Wina told the youth to fight for change, many saw it as a blow to the family's power. Could she have been signaling that the Lungu era must finally come to an end? The family's response hinted at fear, but also defiance. Statements close to them suggested Wina's words were divisive and unnecessary. Others accused her of trying to erase Edgar Lungu's contributions. Behind the scenes, whispers grew louder that the Lungus were rallying their allies, preparing to defend their place in history. But here's where the mystery deepens. Was their anger proof that Wina's message hit too close to home? Or did expose a much bigger struggle, one where the Lungus fear losing the little influence they still hold? What's clear is that Wina's bold words have shaken the political ground, and the Lungu family is not stepping aside quietly. In our next episode, we uncover the youth awakening, how Zambia's restless young generation may hold a real power to decide whether the Lungus survive or fade away. Don't miss it. The youth awakening, something is boiling under the surface in Zambia. It's not the old politicians. It's not the parties fighting for power. It's the youth, restless, angry, and impatient. And when Inonge Wina called on the nation to consider a female president, the words hit harder with young people than anyone expected. But why? And what happens when the youth finally rise? For years, Zambia's young generation has felt ignored. Many say they see the same faces, the same promises, and the same failures. Jobs are scarce, opportunities are few, and trust in leadership is running out. So when Wina broke the silence, the youth saw more than just a speech. They saw a challenge to the old order. Could this be their moment? The response was electric. Social media lit up with debates, memes, and fiery arguments. Young Zambians began asking, if not now, when? If not us, who? Some even say Wina's message wasn't about gender at all, but about the youth breaking free from a system they no longer believe in. But here's the twist. The youth may have passion, but do they have the unity to turn it into real power? Or will political elites use division to keep them silent? That question remains unanswered. What we do know is this: the youth are no longer watching from the sidelines. They are stepping onto the field. And Zambia may never be the same again. In our next episode, we dive into the secret meetings, how hidden alliances are forming behind closed doors, and who may already be planning to ride this youth wave to power. Stay tuned. The gender divide Zambia is at a crossroads. For the first time, the idea of a woman in State House feels within reach. But instead of unity, it has sparked fear, anger, and resistance. Why? And who is most afraid of a female president? The truth is, politics in Zambia has always been dominated by men. From the liberation struggle to modern elections, leadership was seen as a man's job. Now, when voices like Inonge Wina suggest change, old scars of patriarchy resurface. Some leaders whisper that a woman in power would weaken the system. Others fear it would end decades of control by political dynasties built by men. But is that really the case, or just a cover for protecting power? Behind the scenes, resistance is growing. Some party insiders fear that a female leader could shift loyalties, attract the youth, and break old alliances. Business interests, too, worry about losing their grip. Yet in the streets, many Zambians are asking, isn't it time? This is not just about gender. It's about power, survival, and history colliding in one explosive debate. And the real question is, will Zambia embrace change, or will fear of the unknown push the nation backward? One thing is clear, the fight has only just begun. In our next episode, we uncover the secret meetings, who's plotting in the shadows to stop this movement, and which surprising figures may actually be supporting it. Stay tuned. The battle of narratives, the moment Inonge Wina called on the youth to fight for Zambia's first female president, the country lit up. But what happened next was even more explosive. Media outlets rushed to spin her words, some calling it courage, others branding it dangerous. And soon, a full-scale battle of narratives had begun. On social media, hashtags trended overnight. Supporters praised Wina as a voice of progress. Critics accused her of stirring division. But here's the twist: many of the loudest voices were not even ordinary Zambians. Some accounts pushing extreme views appeared suspicious, raising one key question: was this story being manipulated from the shadows? Behind closed doors, whispers suggest that political groups may be fanning the flames. By controlling the narrative, they hope to shape public opinion before the next election. But who stands to gain the most? And who is working hardest to silence the debate? This fight is no longer about one speech. It's about power, influence, and control over Zambia's future. The media war is shaping how citizens see Wina, the Lungu family, and even the possibility of a female president. But if the truth is being twisted, how can Zambians decide what to believe? The story is still unfolding. And in our next episode, we go even deeper. The secret meetings, who is gathering in the shadows to decide Zambia's next leader, and why are some names so shocking? Stay tuned. The hidden candidate Zambia is buzzing with one burning question. Who is the woman that Inonge Wina was really talking about? When she urged the youth to fight for the nation's first female president, was it just a dream? Or was she hinting at someone already waiting in the shadows? The whispers are growing louder. Some say Wina is quietly backing a rising star within the ruling party, a woman who has been building influence behind the scenes. Others believe she might be testing the waters for someone outside politics, a fresh face who could shake the system to its core. But there's also a third theory, one that no one wants to say out loud. Could Inonge Wina herself be considering a return, not as a supporter, but as the candidate? Every clue seems to spark more mystery. Closed-door meetings, sudden shifts in alliances, and statements from insiders that sound less like denial and more like preparation. But if a hidden candidate truly exists, why keep her name secret? And what would happen if she suddenly stepped into the spotlight? One thing is clear, Wina's call has changed the game. The question now is not if Zambia could have a female president, but when. In our next episode, we reveal the secret meetings, who's plotting behind closed doors, and why some of the names on the list may shock the entire nation. The road ahead Zambia is standing at a crossroads. The call for its first female president has shaken the nation, igniting hope in some and fear in others. But now comes the hard question: which path will Zambia take? Will it embrace change or let old power structures tighten their grip even further? The debate is no longer about one speech. It's about the future of the nation itself. On one side, there's a wave of young people and progressives who believe this is the moment to break free from the past. They argue that Zambia cannot keep recycling the same faces and expect different results. On the other side, powerful elites are digging in. They see the rise of a female leader as a threat to everything they've built, their influence, their networks, their control. What makes this moment even more uncertain is the silence of key players. Some leaders are watching from the sidelines, waiting to see which way the wind will blow. Others are quietly plotting their moves in backrooms and boardrooms. The nation is caught in suspense, and every decision in the months ahead will shape the outcome. But here's the truth: Zambia cannot stand still forever. A choice must be made, and that choice will either open the door to history or lock it shut for another generation. In our next episode, we explore the secret meetings, the private deals, the shocking alliances, and the silent battles already shaping Zambia's next chapter. Stay tuned.